Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United withdraw from the European Super League. All 6 Premier League clubs withdraw from the European Super League. I'm very delighted with this. I said I was very sceptical that this European Super League was going to go ahead, because everybody was against it prior to the owners of clubs. The owners wanted this European Super League to go ahead so they could generate more money. And if it had gone ahead, it would have destroyed the entire game. Now, it was announced yesterday that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. He will stand down at the end of 2021. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. I presume all Manchester United fans will be delighted with this. We've been very critical of Ed Woodward for a long time, and we've been demanding him out of the club. But he's been one of the biggest problems at the club for a while. Obviously reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've overpaid for players. And in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. Woodward's obviously showed his support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer quite a few times, even when we was enduring them bad periods under Ole. He did say towards the end of last year that he will back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. And he said not so long ago that he believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. Woodward released a statement earlier on this season and he said the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. Will the Glazers sell Manchester United? The Glazers have been at the football club since 2005, so they've been with us 16 years. Gary Neville, like I already updated you on, he had a lot to say, didn't he, on this European Super League. You know, he came out the other day and called for the Glazer family to sell Manchester United and leave the country, because he said they are scavengers. Neville was obviously fuming over the European Super League, but he did say, didn't he, it wasn't going to go through, not a chance. He said he thought it was a criminal act. Gary Neville, not so long ago, had a heated argument with Jurgen Klopp, over the European Super League debate. Marcus Rashford yesterday hit out at the European Super League. This is obviously before we withdrew from it. Marcus Rashford put a post on, and it was a banner, and it said "Football is nothing without fans," and underneath it said Sir Matt Busby. It also said yesterday that Harry Maguire had confronted Ed Woodward in a meeting after Man United players were left in the dark over the European Super League plans. So yeah, Harry Maguire wasn't happy. Luke Shaw gave his perception on it, and so too did Bruno Fernandes. But it came out of Sky Sports, didn't it? Quite a few days ago now. Just came out of nowhere. No one expected it. It just said that 12 clubs agreed to join this new European Super League, and obviously 6 of them were English clubs. So yeah, anyway, now it has collapsed, which is very, very good news. Now, you already know the news on the transfers, don't you? There's a lot of players that Manchester United are looking at. The news on Raphael Varan from Real Madrid. So Manchester United face competition for Raphael Varan, according to Christian Falk from Bild. It says Chelsea have entered the race. So reflects on that, Chelsea are looking to hijack our move. Reports from Spain said quite a few days ago now that Man United were in advanced talks with Raphael Varan. And reflects on that, it said Varan to Man United was close. Now Real Madrid's asking price is around 60 million, but we hope to lower Real Madrid's 60 million asking price. Raphael Varan is ready to leave Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. Raphael Varan's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. Raphael Varan just has over a year left on his current contract at Real Madrid. Eduardo Inda, the Spanish transfer expert, said earlier on this season that Raphael Varan could be on his way to Man United in the summer. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Raphael Varan on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. But the main explanations I'd take Raphael Varan at Manchester United is because he's a world-class centre-half, he's highly experienced, he's 27 years of age, isn't he? He'd complement Harry Maguire in our backline, and he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. Hasn't played in the Premier League yet though. He's endured 10 years at Real Madrid. He's won 18 major honours, so reflects on that. He's got a good pedigree as a player. He's made over 300 appearances. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. You know the news on Wesly Fofana from Leicester. Now, the other day, reports in France said that Manchester United had made contact with Leicester over the possible move for Wesly Fofana. Leicester are demanding £80 million, so it said that's what Man United will have to pay, so we'll have to pay the exact same fee as what we paid for Harry Maguire in the summer of 2019. This has been Fofana's first season with Leicester, and he's done well. Performances have been very good. Leicester paid £36.5 million for him from Saint Etienne, and he's under contract with Leicester until 2025. So would you take him at Manchester United? But there's been quite a lot of centre-halves on our agenda. It said a few weeks ago that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. You know the news on Declan Rice from West Ham. Not so long ago, there was narratives coming out saying that Declan Rice is interested in joining Manchester United, and apparently he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. West Ham are demanding like £100 million. West Ham have made it clear that they're not going to sell for less than £100 million. Now, Declan Rice isn't worth £100 million. I reckon he's worth from between 50 to 60 million, maybe 70 million at a push. Because he is actually a good player. And it said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. The main explanations I've taken with Man United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. You know, he's still young, got a lot of development in him. He dramatically improves and is predominantly a holding midfielder, and Man United are in search for a holding midfield. But Rice can also be deployed as a centre-half. He's been at West Ham 7 years, is it now? He's got a contract with them until 2024. Uzman Dembele, he's been on our agenda. We've been in for him for quite a while now. Now, the last time I read up about Uzman Dembele, it said that Man United were one of the favourites to sign him. He did mention that we are ahead of Liverpool in the race, and Barcelona will accept around 43.3 million for Uzman Dembele. Now, last year, we wanted to get him on loan with the option to buy, but our wishes never materialised. He said earlier on this season we'd been dealt a blow in our chase for Uzman Dembele, because it said it's very likely he'll stay at Barcelona. Ronald Koeman said he hopes he stays at Barcelona, and Barcelona were willing to offer him a 3-year contract. Uzman Dembele's got like 14 months left, is it, on his current contract at Barca. Fabrizio Romano, who is a reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he did confirm that Uzman Dembele was set for contract talks with Barcelona. He has been at Barcelona now quite a few years. Barcelona got him in a deal worth 135 million from Dortmund. Barcelona paid like £97 million up front. Sustained quite a few injuries at Barcelona, hasn't he? But he was good at Dortmund before he was at Barca, and I thought he was also good at Rennes. And you know the news on Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland, don't you? So like I've said, yeah, there's a lot of players that we are looking at. But in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings, maybe even 5 signings. Reports said earlier on this season that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window. But Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window will be for him and Manchester United in general. I've already identified the areas where we need to strengthen it. We need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre half. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window. Obviously, we've got John Murtough as our director of football, and it was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in. And obviously, we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. I don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough yet as Manchester United manager, and he has so far endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. Yeah, he has made some good signings as Ollie, but he's not got all the players that he wanted to recommend in as yet. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season because we've already made it clear that Ollie will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League. The Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. If we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy. I think there's a very good chance, though, we'll win the Europa League because we are into the Europa League semi-finals. It's 5 semi-finals in total now under Solskjaer. We do play Roma in the semi-finals of the Europa League, and I'm aware, and a lot of United fans are aware, and Solskjaer's aware, how much of a tough game it will be. Not so long ago, Solskjaer spoke about Manchester United facing Roma in the Europa League semi-final, and he said that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat to Manchester United. It'd be great to see Solskjaer get to his first major final as Manchester United manager. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 in the Premier League this season. We'll probably get a second place finish. You know, mathematically we can still win the Premier League. Solskjaer did say not so long ago Manchester United will never ever give up on the Premier League title. But I think City are too far in front, so I think City are going to win it. City are like 8 points in front of us. But I said, you know, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United. I'll stick to what I said on my other videos, though. I don't think he's a long-term manager for Man United. But I, more than that, think he's a long-term manager for Man United because obviously earlier on this season, he said Solskjaer had agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. I think Solskjaer's got like a year left on his current 3-year contract. But I presume there's a lot of Man United fans that are Ollie in and believe that he needs more time. But there's also been a lot of United fans demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. They've obviously got main explanations why they want him out. And Solskjaer has been criticised a lot as Man United manager. He's been Man United manager over 2 years now. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Ollie did manage a Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. So Ollie hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, but that doesn't mean he can't succeed as Man United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. So we do love Ollie because he is a club legend. We appointed him in as Man United manager in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club decided to give him the job 2 years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager in his first 3 months. All he knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. When Ella got appointed in, don't forget, he assured that everybody would get their chance to express themselves, including the young players. Solskjaer's got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. But I think he's our best manager since Ferguson. He's our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson. The three managers we've sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies. If you want to count the Community Shield, and he also got second. So you can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United, but the main explanation is it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and in general the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. In the last 8 years, we've spent over £1 billion on players, and we've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. Mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. Man United, I think, are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. De Gea, Man United could sell him in the summer transfer window. A lot of Man United fans think it would be a mistake to let De Gea go, but I don't think it would be, because I reckon De Gea has had his years at Manchester United now. He's enjoyed 10 years at the club, and I reckon De Gea's had like 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He said earlier on this season that De Gea had made his transfer decision and he's preparing to leave Man United, and it said that Man United is set to pay off his huge contract. Said we set the price for De Gea, it's 50 million. He's got like 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on 375 grand a week, which is a substantial amount. There was narratives coming out the other week saying that we could even loan De Gea out. I said there's a very, very good chance he'll go back to Spain. Romero, I'm expecting us to offload him because he's like our 3rd or 4th choice goalkeeper now. Most of his appearances for Man United have come in the cup competitions. Phil Jones, I'm expecting us to offload him because he's always been inconsistent. Plus he doesn't get an R11, and he's been out of injury for over a year now. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. This is Phil Jones' 10th season at Manchester United. Diego Dalot, I'm expecting us to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Paul Pogba, he could still leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. There again, he could stay potentially past the summer. I think a lot of United fans, including me, would like Paul Pogba to stay potentially past the summer, because he does bring creativity to the team, and we've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. recently we've been playing him in more of an advanced role. We need to keep him in more in that advanced role because that's where he's more effective. I'm not too keen on him in a deeper role. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Pogba had a thigh injury and he was out for a while. First part of this season, he had an ankle injury, and the vast majority of last season, he was out with an ankle injury. Now, Paul Pogba has already insisted that he's happy at Man United, and he recently said that he's demanding £500,000 a week to sign a new contract. If he was to sign this new contract, it'd take his overall earnings to almost £800,000 a week, because on his current contract at the moment he's on £290,000 a week. Pogba's current contract expires next year because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Don't forget, Paul Pogba not so long ago criticised Jose Mourinho. He said Jose Mourinho went against the players and Solskjaer is different. So reflecting on that, Paul Pogba is 100% Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Jose Mourinho reacted and he said he doesn't care less what Pogba had to say about his tenure as Man United manager. Jose Mourinho was recently sacked by Tottenham. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. And Mini Oriola has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. But Paul Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Juventus have been in for him, his former club. Said there's a good chance he'll go back there because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined us. And swap deals have been high on the agenda. Barcelona have been in for him, like I said. Matic, I think there's a good chance that we'll offload him because he's not one of our first choice midfielders. Donny van der Beek, we could offload him because he's not getting enough opportunities. Juan Mata expects us to offload him because he doesn't get in our 11. And Edison Cavani, it looks like he's going to be leaving because it recently said that Edison Cavani has made his transfer decision. According to multiple reports from South America, Cavani has informed Man United that he will be leaving at the end of the season. I presume a lot of United fans, including me and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, would like Cavani to stay for next season because he has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. It looks very, very imminent that he's going to be going to Boca Juniors, and a lot of Manchester United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. There's a lot of players that will stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Dean Henderson, he'll stay. I kind of sure he's got a long-term future at Man United. Luke Shaw will stay. He's been our best player this season by far. I think Bay will stay potentially past the summer, but probably not long-term. Lindelof will probably stay potentially past the summer, but not long-term. Maguire will stay. I don't know about long-term, though. And Wan-Bissaka will stay. I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. We just need to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka. But defensively, Wan-Bissaka's always been superb, more or less. Fred, he will also stay, potentially past the summer, I think. McTominay will stay. A decent player, McTominay, still young, got a lot of development in him, but he's not yet on that level where we want him to be at. Like I said, Pogba could stay, potentially past the summer. Bruno Fernandes will obviously stay. He's made a difference in the team. Greenwood will obviously stay. He's got a long-term future at Man United. He's been superb since he broke into our first team squad. made his senior debut in 2019 and he's been a United player since the age of 7. Marcus Rashford, he'll obviously stay as well. Amad Diallo Traore will stay. I said he looks a very, very good asset for the first team. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. I'll be doing more videos later on.